Hey guys, how's it going? So we're back again with another tech type of video. This one's going to be going over what I do a little bit different inside my Taranis radio that gives me a little bit better feel on the gimbals, and just little modifications about things that I just do a little bit differently. I get asked sometimes why mine feels a little bit different, so I thought I would share that with all of you. So I already removed, there's 6 screws here in the back that go right in here to attach the 2 sides. So with those removed, you could easily just split the radio open. If these kind of fall out, don't worry about it. These little switches, there's a brown wire here. The brown wire points to the top of the back of the radio, so if you're wondering what orientation it is before you put it together, just make sure brown is up. So let me zoom in a little bit better here and we'll get to some of the differences that I have. Make sure you guys can see everything. Okay, so what you'll notice, what I have a little bit different in here is I remove the plastic crossbars and I change them out with these aluminum ones. That's the silver that you kind of see in here, and it's just basically getting rid of a weak component, and you get a little bit, I think a heavier feel out of the aluminum crossbar. It's a little more weighted for me, and I do like having a difference in that. It's always good to get rid of a lot of the plastic parts that could break. Another thing that you'll see that changes up the feel of these gimbals in here is I change out these springs. The ones that come with the Taranis are cheap plastic, not plastic, I'm sorry, just cheap springs that connect to the plastic crossbars and everything, and it's really makes like a loose play in your gimbals that I don't like at all. So I switch them out for the Futaba heavy springs, and those run on eBay for like $4, so they're fairly cheap to get. You get 3 of them. You're basically only going to need it for like their yaw on one side and your roll and pitch on the other. You don't need it for your throttle. So $4, fairly cheap, and it really gives a heavier feel. And then I just crank down on the screws and try and make them as tight as pretty much possible. I mean, you don't really need to crank down all the way or anything's gonna break, but just enough to get everything held down. One other thing that I kind of change up on the throttle side is there's actually a little pad that's in here. I don't know if you could see it, and I have some silicone on here that basically, usually it clicks. You'll feel that little rubbing click. What this does, it kind of smoothens it out and kind of gives it a heavier feel as well on the throttle side of things. And for that, I just use like it's right here, clear RTV silicone. Just wait for it to completely dry. Don't rush things. I know everybody wants to get out there and fly and see how it feels right away, and just take your time, let everything dry, and you'll be a lot more happier with the results that way, and you won't have to go back and redo it. So that's basically all I really do on the inside here. Another thing, what I do is I take this board right here off, and I'll zoom back out a little bit so you guys can see. Don't need to totally be zoomed in for everything again. But what I do is I take this board off because on the front of here, these buttons for me, I mean, I know it's convenient. Everybody's gonna wanna use them for push buttons, for going through the menu things and whatnot, but I don't really use them that much. All I need to do is assign it to what quad that I'm flying for that day, and that's basically it. So I just go in there with something like this, like just pop it in there, and that's pretty much it. Not a whole lot to it. I have had to replace my antenna. I mean, the antenna, I seem to have a problem with this one, just breaking quite a bit. These are also pretty cheap to get. one thing I left out was those aluminum crossbars that you saw. Those were, I believe, like $7 or something, around that price over at I want to say it's Aloft Hobbies. And the same thing with this antenna, is only like $4 or $5 over there for a fix. And the thing with this is where a lot of people have a problem is it's a solder on antenna, and it's a little confusing for those that aren't sure what to do. And we'll zoom in again, and you can see I have kind of like a glob of hot glue over it. But you're basically going to take the pin pad that's on there that the original antenna pushes into, and if you could see, there's a small little point that I have right there that's going to go to the center pad, and then I just solder on to the side pad here, and that's basically it. So you're going from a ground pad to the signal pad, and just put some hot glue on it so nothing gets loose while it's all put together, and you should be good to go. But that pretty much wraps up everything that I do with my Taranis to make it feel a lot better. So hopefully that helps some of you guys, and you know, I'm able to get to all the questions that some people had with everything. I do use some white lithium grease just to keep everything smooth inside the radio, but it's pretty simple. I mean, it's pretty cheap modifications, so you know, go check it out. Go on eBay. Like I said, go to Aloft Hobbies and you know, see what's in stock over there. Change it out, and I'm sure you'll have a nice feeling radio without, you know, breaking your budget on anything. Thanks, guys.